Have you been wondering if your child needs speech therapy? Or are you trying to figure out which sounds they might need help with? If so, let's take a look and figure it out. Hi everyone, welcome to my own SLP. I'm Rachel and I'm a licensed speech language pathologist, and I create videos with step-by-step strategies showing parents and caregivers how you can help your child increase their speech skills at home. I have a video that comes out every Tuesday and on Thursday showing you different strategies for all of the different speech sounds, as well as ideas and activities for how you can make the process fun and engaging for both you and your child. Be sure to hit subscribe so that you're sure to see each of my videos as I show you step by step how to work on your child's articulation skills at home, helping your child to increase their confidence as well as their ability to communicate with others. In this video, I'm going to be walking you through how to take a speech sample. So I'll be going through and showing you this free form that I've created for parents, and I will show you how to get an idea at home of which sounds your child might be struggling with. This is an informal way to kind of gauge which sounds your child needs help with, and I will show you how to do this at home. Starting out on the form, go ahead and put down your child's name, their age, and the date. This will be especially helpful for you to keep for your records so that you can look back on this in the future and you can see where your child started and see if you're still noticing difficulty on certain sounds. You can see which ones that they have begun to master, and also if you ever need to be seen by a speech language pathologist, this could be a helpful form to take to them and show them what you've noticed at home. So once you've filled out that top portion, you're going to look and see that there are two columns. One where you're going to be writing down the word that your child is trying to say, as well as how they said it. Now, this is important because, again, if we need this information down the line, even if it's a couple days from now or months from now, years from now, it's helpful to be able to look and see exactly what your child was trying to say instead of trying to guess, because especially if your child has multiple errors in one word, if they're saying it in context, it can be easy for us to decipher what they're trying to say. But when we have to look back on the form, it can be difficult sometimes to remember what they're trying to say. Make sure that you write down the word that they're trying to say, and right here, write down how they said it. And when you're writing down how they said it, for you as parents, there isn't a right or wrong way. Just write it down however helps you to remember how they said it. When you write down how they said it, I would go back through and underline any consonant sound that they messed up on. So again, in this example for house, underline this section right here to indicate that they struggled with the S sound. And off to the side right here, I would write down the sound that they struggled with. This is important because the letter that is used to spell a word isn't always the letter that is associated with a specific sound. And we're testing sounds, not letter recognition. We're testing the pronunciation of specific sounds. For example, if a child struggles to say the word cello, and on this portion of the word right here, instead of saying cello, they say thello, you're going to notice that it's this part of the word that they struggle with. And when we see a C, oftentimes we associate that with a hard k sound and sometimes a soft s. But in this case, especially, it's neither of those sounds. We notice that the child struggles with a ch sound, which the ch sound is most commonly associated with the spelling of CH. Another resource that I would recommend that you take a look at, I have a free chart on my website. It's a speech sound development chart that I have created, and in this, it shows you all of the sounds that we as speech pathologists test for and work on with kids. It will show you the letter that we associate with each of those sounds. So that can be helpful for you as you're going through and watching my videos and I'm helping you with the different sounds that your child might be struggling with, it will help to keep us on the same page so that when I say a certain sound or letter, you know which sound I'm talking about. And these are all the letters that speech pathologists associate with a specific sound. Go ahead and check out that form that's linked in the description below. It'll show you exactly which letters are associated with each speech sound that we test for. So again, off to the side, just write down which sound the child struggled with. So for the first example with house, over here, you're going to write down the letter S as the letter that your child struggled with, as well as here on the word cello off to the side, you're going to write down a CH to help you remember that that's the sound they struggled with. The way you're going to test for the different sounds is very specific. The chart that we will be referencing to see if an error is age appropriate or not, this tests children when they are saying a sound in just a single word. And what I mean by that is we aren't testing the way a child produces a sound if they are talking to us in conversation, if they're telling us a story, or even if they're using a word in a sentence. We are only testing them the way that they use that sound when saying one single word. The easiest way or most common way to test this is just to have a child say the name of something, to label something. How you can do it at home is you can grab a couple picture books, or you can just point to things around the house and just point to things and ask your child, what is that? What is that? And try and get a variety of sounds, even if you think, oh, my child just struggles with the S sound. Make sure that you're testing as many consonant sounds. So again, think of consonant sounds. So don't worry about vowels. If there is a concern for vowel sounds, I would recommend having your child be evaluated by a speech language pathologist. You can also go through and you can write a list of the different words that you want to test. You can go in this column and write down all the words that you want to test your child on before you even have them say anything. And you can do it that way, or again, you can just sit down with a book and point to different things in the pictures and ask your child, what is this? That will be the easiest way to test them at the word level. Okay, now you've gone through and you've filled out the form. I would recommend, for the bare minimum, fill out this first page. You'll notice that I have 2 pages. If you can get enough words to fill out both pages, that is great, because the larger the sample size, the more information it's going to give us. Once you've gone through and you've done that, you're going to look over on the side where you've written down the specific sounds that your child struggled with. And you're going to take all of those sounds and you're going to go down here in this box at the bottom on the left where it says speech sound errors. You're going to list all of those sounds so that it's a quick, easy find that you can refer back to. So you look here and you see here are the different sound errors. Now, even though your child might be struggling to say these different sounds, that doesn't necessarily mean that these are all sounds that we should be concerned with. A question that parents might have, say you tested your child on a few different words and the R sound was in a handful of words, and your child mispronounced the R in one word but got it right in another. I would still put that R sound down under errors just because it wasn't consistent. And so if there's any difficulty producing it in any word, I would put that down in the errors. Now that you have all of the errors listed on your form, you're going to look over here where we're going to be taking note of which sounds are delayed. And what you're going to use as a reference to know if sounds are delayed or not, you can look at my speech sound development charts, also linked in the show notes, as I mentioned, and you are going to take your child's age. So for this example, say your child is 4 and they struggled to produce the P and the N sound. So you're going to look on the chart and you're going to say, okay, my child is 4, and you're going to find the P and the N, which are over here. And you'll notice children are typically able to produce these sounds by the time they are 3 years old. And since my child is 4, these would be considered delayed. In this box, I'm going to put P and N. Now, another sound that I wrote down, my child struggled with the K and the R. Okay, you're going to look and say, okay, my child is 4, and this sound, the K sound, is typically mastered by the time a child is 4. So this one can be considered delayed. It's not as much of a concern, but that can still be considered delayed, so we're still going to put it there. Now with the R sound, we're going to look and see, oh, okay, this sound though is mastered when a child is older. So because my child is 4, this isn't one that is typically mastered by the time a child is 4. So I'm not going to be concerned about the R at this point. So I'm not going to write the R down in this box. If you have multiple sounds that are in this box under delayed, then how I would recommend for you as parents, choose which one to start with. Always go with the earlier developing sounds. So in this example, the child struggled with P and N. Those are usually mastered by the time a child is 3, so I would start with one of those. And then if there, again, is multiple sounds of that, if you're trying to figure out which one to start with between the P and the N, when you're trying to figure out which sound you want to start with, we usually go with what we refer to as which sound the child is most stimulable for. And what that means is which sound is pretty much the easiest one for me to coach my child through. And so, for example, with the P and the N, say instead of saying pie, like a piece of pie, your child is saying bye. You can't get them to say the P, and you're trying and you're saying just say pie, and your child is still giving you bye, bye. Then you're going to try and do words with the N sound in it. So you might say nut, and your child is going mutt. You say, okay, let's try again. And you're going to emphasize that specific sound. Nut. And your child watches you and they hear you say it, and they're kind of watching and they go nut. And you say, okay. With the N sound, as you were coaching them and they were watching you and listening to you, they were able to get a N sound. So then that's going to tell you that they are more stimulable for the N sound. So I would start with that one. Now, just as a reminder to check out those other free resources, all linked down in the description below. Check out my speech sound development chart to see what ages your child should be using each of these sounds. Check out the speech sound hierarchy so that as you figure out which sounds your child might need help with, you know what sequence to work on those sounds so that you're setting your child up for success. All right, I hope some of the strategies in that video are ones that your child specifically needs right now as you are striving to help your child increase their articulation skills. Let me know in the comments down below what was helpful or if you have any questions. And don't forget to hit subscribe so that you can see each of those videos coming out twice a week on Tuesday and Thursday, showing you all the various strategies for working on different speech sounds, as well as making this process fun and engaging. Now, I hope that you will go share your goodness with someone today, and I will see you in the next one.